Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. Today, me Muhammad Taqib bin Makhirudin and my partner Muhammad Ashraf Naim bin Nikmat are going to present about GMO foods in Malaysia. First, we are going to talk about overview. GMO foods in Malaysia. This is part of our content for our presentation today is introduction, and our main point is GMO threatens our health and GMO threatens our environment, and the conclusion part. Next. Okay, I will talk first about the introduction. What are genetically modified food? Genetically modified foods are when the gene technology is used to alter the genetic makeup of any food crop, food ingredient or any product. It is considered to be genetically modified. Foreign proteins are spliced into common foods product, making them genetically modified. For example, the names used in describing these products includes genetically engineered (GE) and genetically modified organisms. Next section. Okay. So the example of food that is always involved in GMO is soybeans, corn, canola, that is rapeseed, and cotton are the most widely grown GMO crops. Almost all of these crops are either insect resistant or herbicide tolerant. The list also includes peppers, peanuts, potatoes, cabbage, sunflowers, and tomatoes. The reasons why they are called insect resistant or herbicide tolerant is because they are genetically modified so that they are resistant to the insect and or herbicide tolerant. So it can the amount of herbicide that you can be used against at them is very high. Next, GMO threatens our health. This is our first main point. Next section. There are some research studies that have linked genetically modified foods with allergenic lung damage in mice and the creation of antibodies specified to a food protein. On January 28, 2007, the New York Times Magazine early article, The Age of Nutritionism, discussed how scientists have read the way we eat. Their suggestion was to eat what our great-great-grandparents would have recognized as food. Scientists have found ways to create wafers with omega-3s in them. However, no one knows whether you are really getting the quality of omega-3s that you would get just by eating fish. Chances are something got altered in the gene during the science. Eating the original food provides an entire system of nutrients that may need to act and react together for you to get the advantage of the nutrients. Isolating a protein or nutrient probably doesn't give us the same end result as the normal fish. Okay, this is the example of the increase of disease after the GMO is introduced. Before the GMO, as you can see, the blue dots represents the before GMO, and the red dots represents after GMO food was introduced. As you can see, there are only one decrease after GMO introduced, that is the chronic disease. Other than that, the three other examples such as diabetes, chronic constipation, and gastroesophageal reflux our increase. And GMO also causes cancer. Although they are as yet not reported human clinical trials confirming the devastating effects of the Bt toxin on human health. Recent studies indicate that the toxin passes easily into the bloodstream. There is a specific type of Bt toxin called Cry1AB that is already widespread in humans. Canadian researchers found high level of the toxin in pregnant and non-pregnant women whose diet consisted of foods such as genetically modified corn, soy, and potatoes. Bt toxin was present in 93% of maternal blood samples, 80% of fetal blood samples, and 67% of non-pregnant women blood samples. One published human feeding experiment suggests that toxin in GM soy transfer into bacteria that live inside our intestine. Bacteria that continue to thrive long after we have stopped eating genetically modified food. This could harm the balance of good bacteria in our intestine and turn our digestive systems into pesticide storehouse that create diseases resistant to antibodies. Thus, also will increase the potential cancer cells. Next. This is the example of rats that is has been fed a lifelong diet of one of the best-selling strains of genetically modified corn suffered tumors and multiple organ damage. As you can see, the tumors are an example of cancer. As we all know, cancer is the cells that have unstoppable regeneration rate. Next. Okay, that's all from me. Next, my partner Asher will continue the presentation.
Okay, thank you to Muhammad Taki. So I will proceed to GMO threaten our environment. Next. How GMO threaten our environment? First is induces the existence of superweed. For your information, superweed is a type of weed that can resist to herbicides or pesticide, meaning that it hard to kill that weed. So the creation of superweed is through alternation of genes, and so do GMO. All GMO crops undergoes alternation of genes actually, and superweed have ability to resist at certain condition, meaning that like example Roundup soybean. Roundup soybean invulnerable to Roundup herbicides. So if we apply Roundup herbicide to that plant, it can resist at certain point, meaning that if we put at optimum, if we apply at optimum rate, it hard to make it that. Actually, we need to apply maximum rate. So it takes more effort to kill the superweed actually. Next. So this is the graph that I get from Scientific American. Okay, the color here is actually the numbers of resistant species, which is superweed, and all the colors here is herbicides, which is species superweed that resist to that herbicide. It is actually keep increasing. The species keep increasing from time to time until 2010. We can see the species keeps increasing. So next. Okay, this is the picture that I get from Food Freedom. As you can see, this one is actually a corn, and in between the corn is pigweed. It's hard to control because it is a kind of superweed. So next. So next is contaminate. Through GMO can contaminate non-GMO crops gene. Okay, contamination could happen through interbreeding, which means that different species we do some hybridization, and it will produce some new organism, which is GMO crops. So this could threaten our biodiversity, and it can raise ethical and religious issue like Islam and Jews. They can eat pigs or anything that have related to pig sauce. So through interbreeding, scientists can mix some GMO crops through hybridization between pig genes and others crop, and it could make something new, and it will raise religious issue at that point. So next. Okay, this is an article that I get from the Organic and Non-GMO report, and this article shown us that GMO, they have contamination in GMO. The first one is GMO soil, because GMO seeds is widespread to the US country and cause contamination to soil, to seeds, and specifically to the environment actually. So next. Okay, as a conclusion here, what we can conclude, GMO is alienated food because it is GMO doesn't undergo natural process. So and according to SM Muhammad Idris, president of CAP, actually Malaysia has approved 8 GM corns and 6 GM soybean, and it doesn't widespread the information to us, so we can get that knowledge through news or through other medias. So and GMO exists in most of our food and drink, especially processed product. As an advice, we need to recheck or to observe the ingredient in our food. So be careful to pick our food that we consume. So as to close our presentation, we leave you with a statement from ANSWER. It is a group of scientists that studies social and environmental, that have responsibility to environmental and social issue. They said that no research state that GMOs were safe for human consumption, and if does, that remain unclear, which means no research.
Thank you, Ashraf. It means that no research has stated that GMO was safe for humans. As we all know, the GMO that were inserted into the genes of other types of crops are not scientifically studied first, the effects after they were mixed. With that, we close our presentation.
Thank you guys.